So what is your full name and occupation?
William Evans, right? I would like to say William M. Evans to classify myself as I am. My occupation is a mentor, a credible messenger mentor. So I go through the story a lot. So I grew up in the Jackson houses. At that time, I learned more of who my mother was and who my father was. My father and mother both system impacted. My father formerly incarcerated, always in and out of the criminal justice system. With my mother, sort of grew up in my grandmother's home. So the experience with her being incarcerated is one, but my mother also died of HIV/AIDS, right? But the way she looked at the world and her ability to be an advocate, even at that time, to share with the world what she was going through was something of inspiration I can't even picture today. You would expect someone like that to just go through your symptoms, die. My mother wasn't that type. She was like, no, I want the world to know what I'm going through, right? Because this is not something that's talked about a lot. I think about the passing of her. Yes, it's hurtful. But when I think about what she taught me and how she uplifted me and motivated me and educated me, that's something I can't forget. Jessie Mae Evans, right, which was my grandmother, she raised 15 of us. It was a beautiful experience because I learned different things from each one of them, and I was able to help it shape me and my behavior. I would say the way it helped shape me is helping me understand people. I think with that many individuals in the same household, right, with different type of personalities, it allows you to walk into the world understanding that everyone is not the same. As an individual that grew up there, I can definitely say it was complicated, riddled with crime, drugs, anything you could think of, right? On top of us being of an oppressed community, right? Deprived of many things. Many people had to learn how to survive. Part of that survival was drugs, the sale of drugs, right? Which we call hustlers, robbery, violence. We consider those crimes, right? But I would say there's a deeper rooted issue. Many people that's growing up in these type of developments, including myself, are already brought into poverty by design. I got shot when I was 16, first arrest at the age of 15, homeless by 16. A lot of touching moments because these experiences is what shaped me, right? I wouldn't say I really escaped. I'm still surviving. I learned to maneuver. I was just one of the people that was able to not only just identify these things, understand triggers, I was able to understand these different things, right? Compare and contrast, and take with me what I needed to make it to where I am today. So I started designing the logo for Neighborhood Ventures and understanding that the reason I want kids in different colors is because it's different things that we could address that could steer them away from violence, from conversations about violence, right? Because we're not violent people, but the society would allow us to believe that. What I learned was in the designing of Neighborhood Ventures was that I knew that we dealt with so much more. So as young kids, we used to sit on the benches and talk about life, talk to one another, right? We wasn't going to counseling and all of that. We used to talk to each other to help relieve some of that stress. And we used to talk about the mother with HIV, the aunts with cancer, the aunts and uncles with tuberculosis, right? Like we was talking about all these things on the benches. And people in general about life, right? What are some of the things that's challenging? What are some of the things you're dealing with, like at home, at work, at school, that you need support? And how can you focus more on that and less on doing something that's gonna get you removed from your family? So the designing of Neighborhood Ventures, I took all of these different experiences, right? From the criminal justice system to violence to the crooked and corrupt laws, and right, and I applied it. I came in with this wisdom of understanding community and how we're less fortunate and how we are not wrongdoers. And it helped me shape the work that I'm doing today. So Neighborhood Ventures was more of how do I give back? Going back into the communities that I have impacted and giving back to those communities. So when we first started, our first pilot was at Andrew Jackson Houses. I gotta go back to the root causes, find out what happened there, try to do something there that can then help me heal and empower me and empower others. So what I did was I empowered other people. I said, there are other members here who are leaders or could be leaders who know young people that's getting in trouble. In our second year, I compensated a total of 40 adults to go out and get 5 young people. Bring those 5 people with you, sit in a circle, and let's talk about life in the community, what's needed in the neighborhood, right? So we asked them for the solutions and how neighborhood benches could contribute to the reshaping of the development, the community themselves. In over 2 years, what we did was we were able to document, well, what was missing and what was needed in that neighborhood, in those individual lives. And we continue to follow up with them. We motivated young people who were looking for mentors to look for mentors who had something positive to share with them. Even to today, they continue to tap into us. And when we motivated these adults to be mentors, that they would continuously tap into young people, right, and design a program around that. And that's where you get the basketballs, that's where you get the boxing bag, the pull-up bar, that's when you get the food distribution, that's when you get the PPE distribution, that's when you get different type of events that's pouring back into community, that's when you get the job offers that come to you that you could then lend to other people or to support other people with letters and stuff like that. So we're never going into any neighborhood and acting like we have the answers. People hate when other people come into their neighborhood and don't ask them what's needed, right? So we made sure it was an intentional practice, especially a place where I grew up at, right? I went back to this neighborhood and I said, I have to practice it here before I could do it anywhere else. And I said, we know who you guys are, we need your help. So what we did was we planted a seed in our first year there, and we educated them on the work that we're doing, the work that they could be doing. We helped them understand that they have not just a responsibility, but they have these skills. So Andrew Jackson now continues to practice that. But today, like anywhere we go, right, we're tapping into the adults to help us mentor the young people. And today they call them credible messengers. We used to call them, and still do call them, neighborhood leaders. The credible messengers, system impacting individuals who have the skills to utilize their experiences to motivate and educate young people, I think it's very important. The work started at Andrew Jackson Houses, the place where I grew up at, the place where I was harmed, hurt, impacted, and the work continued to grow throughout the neighborhoods that I've impacted in a negative way, as well as my partners. Their challenge is to go into their neighborhoods that they may have impacted in a negative way and try to work towards reshaping how the community see them and how they see themselves.